It is important that both athletes have time to compete and to be able to, train properly. But Mike Tyson ain't returning to his best. That's a fact. No disrespect.
It is important that both athletes have time to compete and to be able to, train properly. But Mike Tyson ain't returning to his best, that's a fact. No disrespect, Mike boxing pros have just called for the cancellation of the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Boxing enthusiasts were left hanging as the eagerly awaited bout initially set for July 20th has been postponed. The delay occurred when Tyson was declared medically unfit to compete after experiencing an ulcer flare-up during a recent fight. In an unexpected twist, Roy Jager, who went toe-to-toe with Tyson in an exhibition bout that wasn't officially scored 4 years back, has now shown a keen interest in taking Tyson's place. In a recent interview with Betway, Jones Jr., a former multi-division world champion, expressed his readiness to face Paul. Jones stated, "I'm kind of thinking about that. I might try and get into shape in case that happens. Maybe I will get myself in shape for that." Jones mentioned that he had never considered doing it before, but given the current situation of the fight, he thought it was a great idea. He added, I never thought about doing it before, but with the situation of the fight, I think that's a great idea, and I'll be ready and in shape. Because if the fight doesn't happen, then the ideal guy to substitute in place of Mike Tyson to fight Jake Paul is something I have been thinking about. If the fight is out there, then yes. Jones hung up his professional boxing gloves 6 years ago. But he stepped back into the ring last September for a special bout against ex-UFC champion Anthony Pettis, ultimately losing by decision. At 55 years old, Jones is still eager to step back into the ring, especially for a match against Paul. Rumors have also swirled about Jones facing other opponents, such as Tommy Fury and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., grabbing considerable media attention. Addressing these rumors, Jones remarked, "I haven't thought about that, because me being me, I only think about being the best I can be, and have never thought about that. Then I figure it out in the ring." There was obviously the Tommy Fury thing that came up, and then the other day, somebody asked me whether I would fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in an exhibition. And that's crazy. Jones meant that he would be willing to take the opportunity, but now that this situation had arisen, it made sense to get into shape for a fight with Jake Paul, which he believed would be one of the biggest fights of the decade. Jones had previously used evocative language to compare the force of Tyson's punches to that of a mule's kick. Jones stated that Mike Tyson was still the strongest puncher he had ever faced in the ring. He recalled that the first time Tyson hit him in the chest, it felt like being kicked by a mule. Jones noted that if Tyson landed a similar shot on anyone, they would either go down or be knocked out, especially those not accustomed to such powerful hits. "Still the strongest puncher that I ever been in the ring with, ever at 55, at the time I think 57, about be 58. He's still the strongest puncher I've ever been in the ring with. First time he hit me in my chest, feel like a mute kicked me in my chest. So if he hits anybody on the chin with a shot like that, they going either out or they going down, especially guys that are not used to being hit like that. Say with people like Field, these guys are bigger and they can tie it. But Jake Paul, I don't think going to be able to take the end like that. We'll see. But it's going to be tough, with the boxing community eagerly anticipating news of Tyson's recovery and the possible rescheduling of the bout. Roy Jones Jr.'s preparedness to take the spotlight introduces a thrilling new dimension to the ongoing story. When asked about the sudden cancellation of the eagerly awaited Showdown, UFC president Dana White provided an enigmatic response. While his words were dripping with intrigue and setting off alarm bells across the fight world, White mentioned that he knew a lot about the situation, but was not going to discuss it publicly. He stated that for the first time in his life, he had no comment on the matter, as it was Mike Tyson's world. And Tyson got upset whenever he talked about it. White expressed that it was good for Tyson and believed they would figure it out. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is delayed. I know you're close with Mike, I guess. Are you happy that they're looking out for his health in that instance? And do you even think it should be rescheduled, period, given this Aller flare-up? 100%. Yeah, obviously know a lot about it. But I'm not going to talk about it publicly, yeah, I have for the first time probably ever in my life. I have no comment on something that's Mike's world. And he gets pissed at me every time I talk about that stuff. Good for him. And they'll figure it out at 57. Tyson was poised for a historic comeback in the ring, squaring off against the audacious 27-year-old Paul. Anticipation ran high with fans buzzing about the prospect of the former heavyweight champion delivering a knockout punch to his brash opponent. Unfortunately, Tyson's return has been derailed by a sudden ulcer flare-up, resulting in the fight being postponed indefinitely. Legendary boxer Iron Mike Tyson, who was renowned for his fierce strength and unwavering determination, gave supporters confidence in his health and his plans to even the score. He said, "Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s. And I will be back to my full training schedule soon." Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. Paul, who is still unaffected and confident, responded to Tyson's combative remarks with poise. He said, "I fully support postponing the event. So Mike Tyson has no excuses come fight night. My fans know I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best, but let there be no mistake, when he steps into the ring with me, I will be ready to claim my all." With a sensational finish, Paul vs. Tyson will be one for the ages, and I promise to bring my best for this once in a lifetime matchup. As eager fans await the announcement of a new date, Dana White's reluctance to disclose any details is only intensifying the buzz. Could there be hidden layers to this story? Known for his forthrightness, White's unexpected silence has sparked rampant speculation. What secrets is he keeping? The fight community is abuzz with questions, pondering whether there are underlying issues at play, or if White's reticence is a calculated maneuver. In the high-stakes arena of combat sports, one thing is certain: when Tyson and Paul finally enter the ring, all eyes will be on them, and the stakes will reach unprecedented heights. In the meantime, the entire fight community stays on tenterhooks, eagerly anticipating every utterance or silence from its most prominent figures. However, Dylan Dennis has resurfaced on social media, and this time he's steering clear of his usual pattern of making misogynistic comments about various women. Instead, Dennis claims to possess insider information regarding the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Interestingly, his views on the matter aligned closely with those of Dana White, by implying that there was a more significant cause for the fight's postponement. Dylan Dennis further fueled the flames, saying that Jake Paul was a slime. Dennis said, "I know the reason Mike Tyson had to postpone the fight. I spoke to his close friend, and like Dana White said, he knows, but doesn't want to get involved. In respect to Mike, it's actually truly sad what's going on. Jake Paul, you're truly a scumbag for knowing what he's going through and not ending this." Currently, the latest updates indicate that Tyson experienced a significant ulcer flare-up, necessitating a few weeks of rest and interrupting his fight preparations. As a result, the match has been postponed. Meanwhile, Jake Paul remains on the hunt for a new opponent, with a recognizable figure emerging as a potential contender. The problem child has racked up a list of adversaries eager to challenge him in the ring, yet among those ready to step up, the last person he would have expected is his own older brother, Logan. Paul tweeted after the fight was postponed, indicating that he would be open to facing his brother. Logan tweeted, "So Mike Tyson's out, I'll step in, and we can settle this once and for all." Jake Paul. Jake responded by expressing his reluctance to resort to knocking out Logan, citing his mother's disapproval, but he hinted at his readiness to do so if necessary. Jake tweeted, "Mom doesn't want me to KO you, but it loser has to change their last name." The enigmatic nature of the Paul brothers leaves room for speculation. They might be playfully teasing their fans or deadly serious about their impending fight. Moreover, a former UFC champion suggests that Jake Paul explore alternative opponents. In the meantime, in an interview with Ariel Helwani on the most recent MMA Hour show, Demetrius Johnson remarked that Mike was 58 years old and he was unsure about his health history. He emphasized that the main concern was someone of that age attempting to push his body to the absolute limit. He expressed his admiration for Jake Paul, but pointed out that there were many other boxers Paul could fight to build his record. Johnson concluded that the fight should not be revisited. I don't know what his health history is, I guess you can say. And I think the biggest thing is you have someone who's 58 years old trying to push his body to the absolute limit moving. And I don't know if he's sparring or anything like that. And I love Jake Paul. I just think I would like to see Jake Paul fight. There's so many boxers out there that he can fight and build his record with. And I understand Mike